Over Rapa Nui, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, battles against the vibranium-armored tiger mechs. The metal monsters shrug off his blasts of fire like they're splashes of water. The Human Torch can't believe his eyes. This isn't the way vibranium is supposed to react to his heat. Even that metal, as strong as it is, has a melting point. So, what has Dr. Doom done to make this armor that strong? Meanwhile, the fight on the ground has already begun. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, uses her ability to create invisible force fields to ward off a pair of vibranium-enhanced Doombots. Her goal is to give the Black Panther time to aid the fallen Dora Milaje. Sue's mind begins to shatter. There is a psychic feedback every time the Doombots strike the barrier. The blows are like thunder. The Invisible Woman pleads for Shuri to hurry. She can't hold the Doombots back much longer. These new Doombots are Hulk class when it comes to strength. As the Invisible Woman falls, Shuri, the new Black Panther, rallies the Dora Milaje for another attack. The Black Panther leaps into the swarm of armored robots, weapons in hand, and plunges her vibranium-tipped spear into the chest of one of the automatons. Massive amounts of energy seep out of the crack in the armor. The sound of the concentrated storm of energy distracts Shuri, and another Doombot is able to catch her off guard, backhanding her off the first one and across the battlefield. Luckily, the Thing is able to catch her, minimizing the damage. He then sets down the Black Panther so that he can go toe-to-toe with the Doombot himself. Elsewhere, within Area 113, Dr. Doom's private laboratory, Walter Declan, also known as the Broker, updates the Latverian King on the happenings on the battlefield. Your new generation of Doombots are performing beautifully. They've killed a dozen Dora Milaje, and they have the Fantastic Four and Shuri on the run. Dr. Doom, working from a nearby computer, tells Declan, I don't give a damn if the V-Series Doombots kill them all or not. Just monitor the telemetry from the bots. They're tied to a self-learning neural net. Anything they learn here will make the next generation that much more combat effective. This is all big picture, Declan. T'Challa and Richards are trying to win a battle. I'm waging war. Even with the Fantastic Four and an army at her back, Shuri is still losing this fight. She retreats to one of the nearby Wakandan Quinjets. Neix, Shuri's weapons designer and chief scientific advisor, tells her that he has his own V-Series armor prepared for just the occasion. It's time to up the ante, he tells her. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, the Invisible Woman is doing what she can to fend off the mechanical beasts, but it's simply too much. What does it take to stop these things? She asks. Maximum firepower. power. Time to fight fire with fire, the Black Panther responds. Suddenly, a vibranium spear is hurled across the battlefield and pierces the tiger's armor, tearing apart the wires within. The Invisible Woman looks back and sees the Black Panther and a dozen Dora Milaje jumping into the fray, each equipped with state-of-the-art V-Tech armor. Shuri tells the Invisible Woman that vibranium-based weapons are the only thing that's going to work against these new Doombots. This gives Ben Grimm an idea. Vibranium, huh? He tears off a piece of cloth and ties parts of a fallen Doombot's armor to his fists, creating a rather brolic upgrade of brass knuckles. Works for me. Within Area 113, Declan continues to debrief Dr. Doom. 16 attack aircrafts have launched from Wakanda. At 30,000 feet, they went into stealth mode, and we lost them. I don't think we'll need your powers of divination to predict where they're heading. This is ahead of Schedule A. You said that T'Challa would wait until... This isn't T'Challa, Doom interrupts. This move is rash and aggressive. This is Shuri, flexing her claws. T'Challa may be the king of our little chess match, but Shuri is still the ruler of Wakanda. Interesting. You predicted that T'Challa wouldn't wrest control of Wakanda back from his sister. Now, the question is whether Princess Barbie is simply being as impatient and arrogant as she's always been, or whether she's had an intuitive leap. T'Challa and Richards have probably worked out a best-case scenario of a month and a worst-case scenario of a few weeks. Has Shuri guessed that tomorrow is Doomsday? It is all academic, Declan. Even if T'Challa and Richards knew my timetable, what could they do? Let them hit all of my factories, all of my production centers. What will they find? The main stockpile of vibranium? Hardly. They will find that my legions are waiting for them, that I am waiting for them. They will finally grasp the self-destructive extent of their own arrogance and the unstoppable reach of my fist. They will not find what they are seeking. They will discover only traps. They will discover their doom. Back on Rapa Nui, Shuri maneuvered just as Dr. Doom expected. Within the Eastern Island factory, the heroes found a fleet of Doombots awaiting their arrival. Their fight was short, and 11 Dora Milaje were lost. That's when Storm gave up on the pointless war of attrition and decided to wipe the factory from the face of the earth. Later, during a video call while being debriefed, T'Challa reprimands Shuri. This isn't the way. You're throwing your fighters away like pawns on a chessboard. What would you advise? Shuri asks, insulted. Sitting back to work up another computer model? Doom has beaten us at every turn because he's in your head. He understands how you think because he's analyzed all the ways in which you've beaten him. How many times does Doom have to defeat us before you realize that you're doing exactly what he expects? Shuri disconnects the call. Reed tries to tell T'Challa that Shuri is young and still ruled by emotions, but T'Challa knows that Shuri is right. I am most guilty. After I was ambushed by Doom, I swore to change my approach. I used alchemy to boost my physical strength and painted mystical protection symbols on my skin so that I could endure magical attacks. I approached this as if I was preparing to fight Doom hand to hand, and that was my mistake. This fight won't be won through muscle and fighting technique, and it won't be won by Shuri's love of gadgets. Doom knows how logical and orderly we both are. In essence, we've both trained him to outthink us. He knows there are things neither of us is willing to do, risks neither of us would ever be willing to take. I think now is the time for us to go a little crazy. If I can't defeat Doom in this universe, then I need to open a door to another one. Later, Shuri, the Black Panther, orders the heroes to split up and attack Doom's factories individually. Albeit, each hero is also supplied with a small contingent of Dora Milaje to back them up. The Black Panther battles vibranium-plated scorpions in Mill Rock, New York. Storm pushes back her attackers with massive gusts of wind while everything around her burns in Narayama, Japan. Each wave of Doombots are harder to stop than the last. They're adapting like sentinels to everything they do. On Ascension Island, within the South Atlantic, the Thing clobbers the Doombots to pieces. Slowly, but surely, he's running out of stamina. On Christmas Island, in the Indian Ocean, the Human Torch does what he can to keep back a swarm of Doombots that fly like insects, specifically designed to keep him out of the air. And in Bora Vista, within the North Atlantic, the Invisible Woman shatters a vibranium tiger from the inside out. But she needs more help. She calls Shuri to send more backup. This factory is built down into the bedrock of the island. I need a dozen more fighters. I can only spare 6, Shuri tells her. But they're inbound with heavy weapons, ETA 15 minutes. No, damn it, that's too few and too late. Dr. Doom watches it all from Area 113. Declan advises the King of Latveria, if this keeps up, if they keep letting the heroes attack them, they will cripple Doom's supply chain. You need those factories. The only reason you've been able to wage so many wars on so many fronts over the years is because of this infrastructure. And while it's burning, you're doing what? Dr. Doom walks over to a nearby machine. It hisses, as it slowly opens, revealing his own vibranium-enhanced armor. What am I doing, Declan? I'm winning. When the invisible woman is left with 2 Dora Milaje left, helpless, huddled together in an ever-shrinking invisible barrier, Doom is winning. When the Human Torch's heat cannot melt away his opposition, Doom is winning. When Storm loses all of her allies, when she stands alone as the fire roars behind her, Doom is winning. When the ever-loving Thing grows tired and his rocky exterior chips away against the Doombot's vibranium strength, Doom is winning. And when Shuri finally falls, leaving her Dora Milaje without direction, Doom is winning. The call finally gets back to T'Challa and Mr. Fantastic. The princess is down. Storm has lost over 30 Dora Milaje, and the others aren't faring any better. Again, T'Challa blames himself. He needs to change the game. This is why a straight fight isn't going to work. This isn't some logic puzzle for T'Challa and Reed to solve. This is a war, and they're losing. T'Challa's people are dying. They've lost contact with Sue Storm, and the Thing and the Human Torch won't last much longer if they keep playing by the rules. T'Challa, Reed begins. T'Challa throws up a hand and walks in the opposite direction. No more theorizing. I've already made the calls. Shuri was right all along. The only way to win this was to go straight for the throat. I've introduced an X factor. Later, on the Latverian southern border, an old man with an eye patch and a walking cane drags a wagon full of an assortment of items covered by a tarp through the dirt road all the way up to a nearby military checkpoint. Checkpoint F. The military personnel guarding the checkpoint think the old man is quite a strange sight to behold, especially at this time of night. They wonder aloud if the old man is actually Igor, the fortune teller, an old Simkarian tosspot. He probably wants to tell their futures for a pint of vodka. The 2 military men walk out to greet the old man and order him to present his papers. They can't help but notice the old man carries a stench with him. It seems the Simkarians will never learn to bathe, comments one of the guards as he watches the old man rifle through his pockets for his identification papers. The second guard walks over to the wagon and examines the items under the tarp and discovers everything on the wagon is either a weapon or an explosive. Before the guard examining the wagon can call out to his partner, the old man pulls out a short sword and stabs it into his partner's chest. It's pronounced Igor, the old man says before turning to the guard next to the wagon and stabbing him in the eye. The old man finishes his business at the gate and makes his way to Castle Doom. The man grabs a bundle of explosives from his wagon and scatters them sporadically within the building. He sings as he sets the timer.
Oops, I did it again.
The explosives detonate, killing dozens. Fire burns. Rubble falls. People scream for their lives.
I'm not that innocent.
The old man chirps as he grabs an axe off his wagon and makes a beeline for Dr. Doom's royal throne room. Again and again, the man strikes the door to the throne room until there is a hole large enough to squeeze his head through. The man calls out for the Mad King, saying,
"Doomy, I'm home."